Hey babe, look what hole I am in. I am in. I try not to think too much about what might have been, might have been. How nice if I just could let you in, let you in. I know you could be my remedy, remedy. How long will you keep trying? I know it's not, babe, it's not easy. I guess deep down inside, I knew you could be my remedy. Be my remedy. You could be if I gave you my heart, you could tear it apart. And if I tell you how I feel, would you be good to me? Good to me. How nice if I just could let you in, let you in. I know you could be my remedy, my remedy. How long will you keep trying? I know it's not, babe, it's not easy. I guess deep down inside, I know you could be my remedy. Be my remedy. Yeah, you could be. I know you could be my
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. On today's show, I got 3 OMG stories from this past week, or at the very least, they came to my attention this past week. Sometimes with these digital media posts and stuff, sometimes the stuff be out there and you just don't see it. But I got 3 OMG stories to kick off our conversation this morning. Some cultural, we'll talk a little bit of relationships. We'll talk some local information, some local story. And then we may talk a little bit of politics this morning as well. A little bit of international politics this morning. Good morning to you. All right, take a second, take a minute to like and in particular share today's show. I'm also going to talk about numerous things, okay? There's an upcoming Mother's Day event that I want to make sure that you know all about. It's coming up in, well, a little bit over a week is Mother's Day. Could be an experience, once in a lifetime experience for the mother in your life. I'll talk to you about that as well. You get a word from our sponsor this morning as well, our second sponsor, our friends over at Renew Community Church. We'll see what's going on with their live stream on Sunday. We'll talk about that. Also, I'll give you updates on the investment club. I got a chance to talk with Chuck or converse with Chuck Futel yesterday, and he clarified something for me, which I think is going to be, it could be like a make or break type of thing. If people want to be involved with the investment club, I think it's going to be super dope. We're going to stack chips. And then sometime in the near future, we can decide to do something, more collective. But I'll give you all the details. Right here, right now, I need you to like, and in particular, Share. Oh, Kamikia, for sure. I definitely will. I'll send out today and over the weekend to everybody the link. I haven't sent it out yet, but I'll send a link out to everybody starting today and over the weekend. So by Sunday, everybody that wants it should have it. I might even take it. I was thinking I could post a link inside the friends page, that Facebook group. I don't know. I don't know if I really want to do that, but anyway, I'll make sure everybody gets it for sure. Okay. Absolutely. You definitely don't want to miss it. All right. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. If you'd like to share your thoughts this morning, I would love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts this morning. What's going on? Hope you're doing well. It's Friday. We made it. We made it. Another week in the sun. Hope your weekend was good. Hope your weekend's going to be even better. Not sure what you got planned, but whatever it is, I hope it's successful. That's it. I got a video clip that was taken from I think this is an Oprah show. And I'm not sure if this is a new clip or an old clip, but it doesn't really matter for the purposes of our conversation. And you're going to hear the other side of the equation. Like, we always hear the belly aching from women about men. Okay. But we rarely listen to what men have to say and what men are dealing with. Point in fact is that the majority of men are lonely. The vast majority of dudes out here lonely as hell. They ain't got nobody in their DMs. The vast majority of men don't have nobody in their DMs at all. But I'll get to that. I'll get to that. Good morning to you. We'll talk about that. Also, and I want to kick things off right here. I want to talk about, I was following this story. It was a brother. It's just a very tragic story. This brother was sitting at a bus stop in the neighborhood here in Cincinnati, minding his own business. He ends up catching a bullet and dying because some other people were involved in a gun battle. Well, that happened on almost 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. And the defendant has been waiting to go to trial for all of this time. Matter of fact, incarcerated down at the Hamilton County Justice System. If I remember correctly, he caught some other charges while he was down there. I think he punched a deputy down there and broke his face or something like that. But anyway, you won't believe. Now it looks like the case is over with. You won't believe what happened. And it has nothing to do with liberal judges whatsoever. We'll talk about that this morning at 513-873-7134. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. April 29th, 2022. Yeah, weather's changing. People feeling more relaxed. That COVID's still here, though. I was listening to a news report, and apparently about 40% of the population has either never gotten COVID or has not gotten immunized against COVID. 40% of the population in the United States. So it's still out there, people. It's significant. Keep the mask up. Keep the mask up. And I'll be honest with you, at this point, like, the wifey took the vaccine, I took the vaccine. I know the people that didn't take the vaccine, you're hoping that something bad happens to people like me. You want to hear that I break out in hives, or I've got a weird rash, or I die unexpectedly, because that'll validate your fears as to why you didn't take the vaccine. I already know. I know how human beings are. But I'm here to tell you I'm healthier than ever. I feel great. I feel great. And humans are way worse than COVID. COVID knows what it's trying to do. Humans out here playing games, arguing against their own best interest. You had all these folks that left their jobs over a vaccine mandate. I mean, at the end of the day, do what you got to do. But I think it was the dumbest shit I ever heard of in my entire life. I'll be honest with you. I think it's just dumb. Just straight up not thinking all the way through. But hey, humans do what humans do. Humans do what humans do. Yeah, you got the right to do what you want to do, but I got the right to give you my opinion. I think it's stupid. You know what I'm saying? And I know all you anti-vaxxers out there, the folks out there that's like, don't never take that shot. You are hoping that people that took the vaccine start breaking out in inexplicable, symptoms or have heart failure. Because then you can say, I told you. But that ain't going to happen. That's not going to happen. Most of these people that didn't want to take the vaccine and lost their job, Most of these people fall into one or two categories. They fall into the uh ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do category, right? You know, it's people like that, and you ain't gonna tell me what to do. Negro, you work for somebody. They tell you what to do every day. This ain't no different. You ain't gonna make me. Okay. There's people out there that just shoot themselves in the foot on some you ain't gonna make me type shit. And then you got the people out there that's just ignorant. They saw some shit on YouTube where a girl had a cell phone that was seemingly magnetized to her skin, and they believe that shit. They just are dealing with the lack of knowledge. Those are the two frames. And then you got the folks out there that's just scary. I don't know what that is. You know, it's a legacy scare. And I'm not saying that in this country that you should 100% trust the medical professionals. But all I'm saying is some of these same people that run around here talking about I ain't gonna take the vaccine are the same people that's gonna run straight to the doctor when they got a medical emergency. What is the difference? I don't understand it. I've said what I had to say, damn it. Let's get this show started.
NathanIvey.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. And far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised dogs, close fish, yeah, too strong. Team AI, top it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squads in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airways, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info about it? Hey, yo, John will be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati Reds at. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 513, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
All right, good morning, good people. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Good morning, good morning. Come on in. Please like and particularly share today's show. We want everybody to see this. We need to see this shit. Good morning to you. It's a Friday. Good morning, good morning. Hope you're doing well. I'm rocking tea with some collagen in it. You know what I'm saying? The regular degular. Good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, that's right. Misinformation and disinformation. When I hear about these people, man, listen, I'm like, that sounds like the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. You sound stupid. But hey, it's a lot of different human beings out there to make the world go round. I already know you anti-vax. You can't wait to see me break out in a rash. Oh, I told you, Nate. It ain't gonna happen. Sorry. Healthier than ever. Healthier than ever. Good morning to you. Y'all ready to get into this? Man, we got to talk about this shit, man. This is crazy. This is the craziest thing ever, man. What is up? And I guess being a police in the police department, I things happen. People make mistakes all the time, I guess. But looks like one mistake is gonna, well, I don't know if a guilty man's gonna go free because you're innocent until proven guilty and all that kind of stuff, but it just wasn't a good look at all. So police arrested man. They got a dude incarcerated down at the Hamilton County Justice Center in connection with the murder of a young man who was just minding his own business. He wasn't harming nobody. He wasn't messing with nobody. He's sitting at the bus stop. He's sitting at the bus stop. Hey, good morning, Rosemary. For sure, I will share. I support Rosemary 100%. I love what she's doing. I think it's good for our community. And this brother was just sitting at the bus stop, minding his own business, wasn't harming nobody, wasn't messing with nobody. Some other folks get into a shooting, or again, it's hard to figure it out, but they get into a shooting and he ends up catching a stray bullet and he dies. Police are investigating it and they arrest an individual. He's sitting downtown at the Hamilton County Justice Center for some time and about to go to trial. Matter of fact, I started to talk about this on Monday, but we got caught up in some other things. It was on my list of things to talk about because the story was just so crazy, so tragic. So tragic. Yeah, cut down in the prime of your life on some stupid shit. Excuse my language, but it's a Friday. Gosh darn it, I'm grown. I'm grown. All right? It is what it is. I'm only human. Sometimes I can't help myself. I'll be honest with you. Living your life on a high wire, but you don't have a safety net. Shit, it is what it is. But anyway, so this man is about to go to trial this week, right? Looks like they had to dismiss the charges because the murder weapon was never found. Like the murder weapon in that trial, the weapon that was used in the homicide, should I say, was never found. Kind of find out it was in CPD custody for the last 2 years. They ain't know. Oops, my bad. So they go back to the judge on some, oops, my bad. We had the murder weapon all this time. Never turned any evidence over. Never revealed it. I guess it was just a mistake. So it looks like they're going to have to let this man go. From what I read, he told police that he admitted that he drove the car that was involved in the shooting. But he said, and this is what I read anyway, what's being reported is that he told police that he didn't know who the individual was in his backseat and he didn't know why they were shooting. I guess anything is possible, but that sounds like some bullshit to me. But I guess anything is possible. You don't know who's in your backseat. I guess, if you living like that and, you driving cats here and there, yeah, I guess. You pick up a buddy, your buddy's got a buddy, you don't know your buddy's buddy, he jumps in the back seat, start popping off shots. I guess that's possible. I guess that's possible, but how likely is it? I would say not very likely. Before we go too deep into today's show, I want to remind you that there is a Mother's Day event coming up. All you can eat Southern Swank. Have you hit this link and checked out the menu? Hit the link, check out the menu, and tell me what you think. They got you covered. They got you and your moms covered. I used to refer to my mother very affectionately as Chairman Mom, right? And it was a spinoff of Chairman Mao, who was the great fascist dictator of the Chinese people for a long time. And I called her that because she earned it. If you a single black woman raising 5 kids, 3 of them boys, and I'm your oldest, you got to be a dictator. I wish she would hear. I would take her to this. If your mother is in your life, spoil her. Spoil her. Go overboard. Matter of fact, for any mother in your life, spoil them. Go overboard. This could be a great event. It's going to be at the Above and Beyond Planning and Event Center. That's at 18 Triangle Park Drive out in Sharonville, Ohio. The tickets are $50. You can register at Wing Champ. You can buy your tickets at Wing Champs, or you can follow the link that's in today's description and you can register there. Hit that link. It's going to take you to their Eventbrite. It's got a more fuller description of what you're getting. They also got a live performance that'll be provided by Just Vince. They got you covered. 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. You're going to walk out there like a champ. Mom's going to love you. Oh, boy. And if you got a mother-in-law in your life, you got to butter up the mother-in-law. She really going to love you. Yeah, you're getting all the coupons from the wifey or whoever the woman is in your life. So check this out. Tickets are going fast. I haven't checked back to see where they are with the tickets. But check in, hit the link, tell me what you think, and check them out. Also, today's show is brought to you by our friends over at Renew Community Church. Matter of fact, I'll show you a video a little later in the show, but for now, check out their Sunday morning masterclass. This Sunday, 60 seconds to a better mind. Only 60? What about 65? But 60 seconds to a better mind. Learn how to have better mental health. You can tap in on Facebook and YouTube. On YouTube at Renew Community Church live stream, and on Facebook at facebook.com/Cincy Renew. They also have a free ebook that's available for download. Just go to their website, 3Ws.renew.com. renewcommunitychurch.org. Check them out. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. So the police had the weapon the whole time. I guess it just got lost in the transfer or something like that, but it ended up with this man being released. The prosecutors, Hamilton County prosecutors, wanted to spend another couple of months, doing tests on the weapon and things like that. But the judge, she was like, nah, this man been sitting here all this time, and you should have got your case together. So it looks like perhaps no justice if, in fact, this man was guilty. Again, you're innocent, you're proven guilty. But let's say he was guilty or in some way connected with it. He walking away because CPD lost a gun. Lost a gun. What the fuck you got? Hamilton County sheriff deputy losing a gun at home. Somebody breaking into her vehicle, I believe, and now in custody, or I guess it's supposed to be, I guess, I don't know what the chain of command is. I would imagine you go to the scene, you pick up a gun, you catalog it, you put it somewhere where you put it so you can get back to it so the prosecutors can do their job. Man, please. But you can't bring this on liberal judges. I know that's what Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Dieters likes to do these days. Just a really, really sad story. And again, things happen, but gosh darn. Y'all losing whole weapons? Good morning to you. Very, very sad story. Just sitting at the bus stop, minding his own business. Mind his own business. And it speaks to the mentality. Now, I don't know if he was the target or if somebody else was the target and he got caught in the crossfire. But I'm like, yo, it's really that serious? It seems like there's no ethics in the game. Like, you can be an ethical criminal. You can be an ethical thug. I think so. You can be an ethical gangster, if that's the right word. You can be an ethical street nigga. You can have some ethics, some kind of code, but I don't know. Game done changed, I guess. Tabitha's in the house. She writes, good morning. Let's chop it up.
Get to the
Choppas. Brandy writes, greetings. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you as well, Brandy. Tanika's in the house. She writes, good morning, Nathan Choppas. Crystal writes, good morning. Anthony writes, morning, Chop Shops. Ivory writes, morning, Choppas. Shelly Shell's in the house. She writes, good Friday morning, y'all. Good morning to you, Shelly Shell. That's straight from the 90s. That's a hip-hop name. Straight from the 90s right there. Charles writes, Grand Risings, Nathan and Choppers. Good morning to you. Good morning, Pat. Good to see you. Crystal, good morning. So let me clarify something that we need to talk about with the investment club, because we met virtually via Zoom on Wednesday. It was the first meeting. And Chuck said something near the end of the conversation that I want to make sure I clarify. So if you would like to be the investment club, what he would recommend is that you put in at least $1,000 to begin, and that you invest another $100 per month. He wants to set it up so it comes automatically out of an account. Makes sense to me. But I want to make sure that people understand what he was actually saying. That's his recommendation. If you want to start the investment club, you don't have to start with $1,000. You can start with $100 a month. So I want to make that's a big difference, because everybody's in a different place. For some people, that's like, Nate, I'm gonna take me about a year to get that together. I understand. Other people, it's no problem. Okay. But so that changes the barrier for entry. Okay. And again, even $100 depends on, I'm not making any assumptions about where you are and all that kind of stuff, but you don't have to have $1,000. Now, obviously, if you start with a larger amount of money, then your money's going to grow at a faster rate because you've got more money in. But $100 comes out of an account. He'll sit down with you individually and work out your account. And this is it's all about wealth building. It's all about wealth building for your family. And as Chuck said, there's a few things you can do with that. It can be an emergency fund. What did Chuck say? Chuck said, look, for folks that don't have it, you should have 3 types of fund: an emergency fund, a short-term fund, and long-term investments for perhaps your retirement or for legacy. You're going to leave this for your children. Well, what we're doing here could be any of that. It could be an emergency fund because, as he said, you can pull it out whenever you want to with no penalty. Take your money out. Or it can be, let's say, you trying to stack 10 G's for something or whatever. You got a short-term purchase. Okay. Or this is long-term for you. You want to let it cook 10, 20, 30 years. Make your kids the beneficiary. Something happened to you. Maybe your grandbabies or something like that. Maybe your stepkids, your cousins of that, your nieces and nephews, whoever, and leave them something. Like, how many people have ever gotten an inheritance? How many people have ever gotten an inheritance? Did your peoples leave you something? Did they leave you insurance money? Did they leave you homes? Did they leave you any kind of inheritance? Just imagine if they did. That's what happened with Trump the Rump. He wasn't no smart business guy. His father left him $50 million. Who can be successful with $50 million that you didn't have to work for? So that's what the difference is. You can make the next generation, your legacy, and your family a little bit better than the way you had it. I mean, what does a man or a woman with children want more than anything else? To make sure your children are taken care of. So, it doesn't really matter what your age is, whether you're 20, you're 30, you're 40, you're 50, you're 60, you're 70, you're 80. Stacking chips is stacking chips. So I'll talk more about it probably next week and get with Chuck and we talk about what that means. He said he got some good responses, so maybe some people reach out to him. Great. But this is something that we are definitely going to do in our household, and I want to do it with you. I want to share the experience with you. I want to grow with you. That'll be the best part for me. Joe writes, happy Friday, Nate and a Chopper. So again, you don't have to have $1,000 to start. You can start with $100 a month. It's coming out of a checking account, or I don't know if it has to be a bank account or debit. I have to ask him about that. But I think as smart people, we know that's probably the best way to do anything. Just do it automatically, right? Because when you got to make that decision, you be like, I'm trying to go somewhere this weekend, right? And it's really, before you know it, the money has been spent. But again, I want to put that out there so he did say that, and I was like, let me clarify. And I conversed with him yesterday. So Terry writes, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Terry. Crystal writes, good Friday morning, Choppas. Good morning to you, Crystal. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Daryl writes, good morning, Nate and Choppas. What up, Daryl? What up? Brenda writes, happy Friday. Elo's in the house. She writes, good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. Kamikia writes, thank you. Oh, absolutely. You already know. Roy writes, good morning, everybody. I want the best for my peoples. I want you to live your best life. Nat writes, TGIF, Nate and the Choppers. Karen writes, grand rising. Say, what's up, Karen? Hey, what's up? Dale writes, I sent you a message asking for the link to the investment club meeting from the other day. Okay, I haven't sent them out yet, Daryl. I'll do it today and tomorrow and get it done. So by Sunday, everybody who wants it, we'll have it. Brent writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers, checking in from Dallas. It's, even if you don't want to do it, it's worth your time. Even if you're like, nah, screw that little investment club, or I got my own thing going, you should still check it out. Some great information. Tabitha writes, that's so sad, isn't it, though? And number one, it's like a double whammy. Like, imagine you're the family of the victim, and now you watching this man who admits that he was in the car. He ain't even gonna be go to trial because Cincinnati Police Department mishandled, mistakenly forgot, lost. I don't know what they did exactly. Anyway, they don't know where, they didn't know where the gun was, which prompted the judge to say, you know what, man's been through enough. That's over with. What? What? Like, get your shit together. Also, locally, Jeff Pastor's looking for a lawyer. Who didn't see that coming? Everybody in the world can see that coming. Of course, you're looking for a new lawyer. Of course, because Ben Dusing had problems. Jeff Pastor is a former city council person who was arrested on corruption charges. Allegedly, the FBI says he basically was selling off his votes for projects, taking trips, whole 9 yards. He goes and gets a lawyer to represent him, and on the surface, it's like dude was doing his job. They're doing interviews, they're doing all the little stuff that you would expect in a situation like this, but then his lawyer gets caught up in some games that he was involved in. I know Jeff is like, gosh darn, that can't be good for a case. Or maybe it will be. Maybe that's what he needed. I don't know. Tracy writes, hi. Dale writes, I remember that shooting. Yeah. The soft middle men are lonely and alone for obvious reasons. The soft middle men. Now I saw this video, yo, and this dude was like, most men are lonely. And I watched it a second time and I'm thinking, I wonder if this is true. Like men who are not like married or, in relationships, but just, on some regular degular type stuff. Not to say anybody is regular because we all regular, but you know what I'm saying? You ain't like no big time star or nothing like that where women are trying to get at you. You just got a regular job, just a regular Joe. Man, do men like that have women in their DMs? I don't know. But you can just be a regular woman. When I say regular, in no way that means fence. I mean, like, you're not like a Beyonce or some kind of superstar. You just working and got a good shape, got a good smile, got clean teeth, got nice eyes. You got Negroes all in your DMs. Tell me I'm wrong. I ain't got nobody in my DMs, Nate. Brandy writes, good morning, happy Friday. I never took the mask off. Janice is smart. Kush writes, good morning, Nate and the Mighty Choppas. Crystal writes, me too. I still wear my mask. I'm vaccinated. I just talked to people in locally, in nonprofit world and also in the profit world, where you had all these people that was losing their jobs because you had these businesses that were instituting mask mandates. Okay, well, they also have mandates where you have to dress a certain way when you walk into the building. I didn't understand what the difference was. I don't get it, but I understand people. And most of these people that left their job because of a mask mandate fall into one or two, maybe three categories. One, it's the ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do category, but you work for somebody. So people tell you what to do every day and you do it. But now you're not gonna do it. It's the totally ignorant about the medical science behind it because they keep talking about the Tuskegee experiment, that shit. And then you got the people that's they just afraid. There's some people, and I think this is a small amount of people. There's some people that just don't go to the doctor, period. Like I got somebody in my family that don't go to the doctor, period. Now, they've yet to have like a super serious medical emergency because then they ask going to the doctor. But I know people that don't go to the doctor as much as possible, never been to a dentist. Their mouth's nasty. You ain't never been to a dentist? Ever in your whole life? I don't like a dentist. Nigga. Never been to the hospital. They don't go to the hospital. That's why I said I call bullshit because some of these same people run around here. I'm not going to take the vaccine. As soon as they have a medical issue, they go straight to the doctor. What's this on my skin? I don't feel good. Tell me that. So now you can trust them. But maybe it was Trump. You know what I'm saying? Trump said, take the vaccine. I ain't doing a gosh darn thing Trump said. So maybe it's that. I don't know. With some people anyway. That's right. Super dumb. This is the dumbest shit I ever heard in my entire life. But hey, do you? Do you? Verna writes, morning. Nawusi Simba, aka Black Lion. When you gonna give me a call, Black Lion? It's been a minute, man. Go ahead and break the ice, bro. You want to call in and talk about white women and all this kind of shit. You want to. I bet Black Lion be listening like, oh, white women. They go Nate again, acting like a white woman. That's his favorite line. Ronald writes, morning, Chop Shop. Happy Friday. Jared writes, good morning, hashtag Team and I want to play something for you. You gotta see this. This is some OMG shit, but it's real. And the women's never talk. Women don't hold their friends accountable. When their friends do dumb shit, crazy shit, they don't hold them accountable at all. They just sit like and say, well, that's her. It's like, that shit wrong. Say something to her. That's her. I don't get in people's business. If her man did the same thing to her that she did to him, you'd be all in his business. I don't think he good for you. This is a video taken from a show on the OWN network. And it may be going back a couple years or it might be recent. I don't know. I just came across my radar screen this week. Okay. This woman is talking about why she ended up getting divorced. Would you like to hear what she has to say? Of course you do. Check this out.
Been divorced before. You know, my first marriage, we made all of the mistakes. Unfortunately, he passed away.
So why did you guys get a divorce?
Because I really wanted something different. It's very unfortunate because he was the most loving, kind person. I had all the love and support that I could have ever wanted. But I think I went through a period wanting money. Like I wanted to be with someone and be at a different level. And I saw him work all of the time. It's one thing to like work and work and work from like 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night, day in, day out, and still have no resources. And for me to work, do the same, and just want a different life.
So, long story short, you wanted a different life and lifestyle than he was able to provide. And so you said, you know what, this, I'm out of here. I need more money.
I was selfish and took advantage of a real unfortunate situation, which was he loved me and David unconditionally, completely unconditionally. And when you love someone like that, you really accept their flaws and you accept less than what you should. So really, I should have been a better wife. Every time we saw each other, like you knew that was your soulmate, right?
Wow, I mean, so he was your soulmate.
It's hard because I knew how he still felt about me.
He just loved you.
He really did.
And you broke his heart.
That's when she knew she fucked up. And there's more stories like that. And by her own, now, number one, she ain't bad to look at. She all right. She okay. I'm not going to say that I don't really believe in the concept of ugly, actually. Nobody's ugly. But she all right. She okay. From her own mouth. The dude was everything for her. My soulmate. Accepted her and her son. And by the way she said it, he was on some stepdad-ish. And she threw it all away because he worked too much and didn't have enough money. It goes back to what I've said before. It's that Cinderella motif, only from a man's perspective. Just because you love a woman, just because you real with a woman, just because you upfront with a woman and you honest with a woman, don't mean that she can accept it. Exhibit A. Kevin Samuels will have a field day with this shit. Not every woman can accept that. Not every woman. He didn't make enough money. Why didn't you get your ass out there and make more money then, since you want more money? Go hustle. Create a business. Go get your hustle on. But he didn't make enough money. He working. She probably had a Negro on the side that was her ideal dude. Yeah, he wasn't perfect. He's not like the other dude, but he got money. So she threw it all away on a gamble. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. This is real. This is the kind of stuff that men deal with. Shit right here. You want to make believe sisters like this in these situations don't happen. This is the kind of shit that men are dealing with out here. Now tell me what he did wrong. Is this an example of toxic femininity? This is some straight bull-ish. Now, she said, you're going to give up your soulmate that loves you, accepts you and your stepson, so he doing another Negro's time because he works too much. So should he have quit his job and start slanging drugs? He was a scrub, right? Yeah, he's this, that, and the other, but he's a scrub because he's not giving me the lifestyle that I think I want. Kevin Samuels would have a field day with this. But I want to bring this up because when we be talking about this shit, Women, they get all in their bag and they feel like they are the only ones that got stories to tell. So I want to bring to you more stories from the other side, from the male perspective. Exhibit A. Exhibit A. Let's play this video one more time because y'all didn't get it.
Oh, don't cry too.
Oh, hey, what you crying for? What are you crying for? You made all the decisions, bae. You had all the power. You made all the decisions. You got to deal with it now. It is what it is. It is what it is. I think it's hilarious, quite honestly.
Been divorced before, my first marriage, we made all of the mistakes. Unfortunately, he passed away.
So why did you guys get a divorce?
Because I really wanted something different. It's very unfortunate because he was the most loving, kind person. I had all the love and support that I could have ever wanted. But I think I went through a period wanting money. Like I wanted to be with someone and be at a different level. And I saw him work all
If you want to be at a different level, bae, then get out there and earn it. Go make it happen. Startups trade, go to school, start an OnlyFans. I mean, whatever you got to do, you create it for you. The only mistake that this man she's talking about made is that he effed with her. That was his biggest mistake. Got his heart broke, got his feelings hurt, trying to be the right guy. That's the way the world works. That's just what it is. Let's continue.
It's one thing to work and work and work from 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night, day in, day out, and still have no reason.
What kind of job is that? 4 a.m. to 10 a.m.? Those are terrible hours. 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. 4 a.m. I mean, that's like over 12. That's like 12. That's like 18-hour days. Now, there are some jobs where you work like that. 18 hours? That's a hell of, he must have been doing some overtime. Probably trying to keep her happy.
Sources. And for me to do the same and just want a different life.
So, long story short, you wanted a different life and lifestyle than he was able to provide. And so you said, you know what, this, I'm out of here. I need more money.
I was selfish and took advantage of a real unfortunate situation, which was he loved me and David unconditionally, completely unconditionally. And when you love someone like that, you really accept their flaws and you accept less than what you should. So really, I should have been a better wife. Every time we saw each other, you knew that was your soulmate, right?
Wow, so he was your soulmate?
Look at her face.
It's hard.
That's hilarious.
Because I knew.
Let me go back here. You gotta look at her face.
It's hard because it was your soulmate, right?
Wow, so he was your soulmate?
Yeah, sis, you blew it. And the thing about life is that, and I've said it before because I've experienced it, you will be very lucky in this life to have friends throughout your whole life. You'll be very lucky to find friends, like people that from kindergarten or elementary school, people that you're still in contact with for years and years and years and years. You will be very lucky in life to have a friend that if you get a flat tire, you can call them. Or you come up short on the water bill, you can call them. Most people don't have friends like that. You got the kind of friends that can kiki and laugh and y'all can drink martinis and mimosas. But when some shit really happens and you really need another human being to be there, they ain't gonna be there. They ain't gonna be there. And it's even rarer to find a member of the opposite sex who don't know you. Y'all start as a physical thing and it turns into a love thing. That shit is extremely, extremely rare. Extremely rare. And you gonna flush it down the toilet because you didn't get out here and make more money and you gonna put it on him. This the kind of shit that modern day men are dealing with. Is this toxic femininity? Hell fucking yeah, it is. You know it. Absolutely. So the next time, I don't want to hear shit about nothing else, Tracy, Cass. I'm calling y'all out. I don't want to hear it because there's another side of the story. It's everything's always from the female perspective. There's another side of that equation. Ain't no good man. She'll be the same person because that's how some people are. They get in different company where people don't really know them, and they start telling these narratives that make them feel good. Ain't no good men out here. Sis, you had a good man, and you blew it. Y'all, if you really want to make cake like that, y'all should have came together and started a business. Start your business and start stacking that cake. If that's what you really want to do. But that's it. That's OMG. It is what it is. Is that toxic femininity? Ivy writes, she's crying because she knows what she did was messed up and now he's deceased. If you want to be a different level, that comes from you, not what he's doing. He probably was working like that to keep her because he knew she was all about the cash. Correctamundo on all accounts, Ivory. He working like he putting in 16, 18-hour days because he's trying to keep her happy. Some men will do that. Now, some men will dog her the hell out and treat her like shit and ignore her, and she'll probably love that guy. That's just how human beings are. Some of them anyway. Like some human beings, male or female. You know what I'm saying? You know, the more you give them, the more they realize that you can't give them enough and all this other goofy shit. I don't get it. I come from the generation where if you got my back, I got your back. Period. That's the generation I come from. But you know, people can do what they want to do. People are gonna do what they want to do. So the next time, ain't no good men, all these men out here, I'm gonna play this video for you because I don't want to hear it. There's another side of the story. Look at this sister. Your soulmate, you're all weepy now. And will she ever find another man that can love her like that? I mean, there's a lot of men out there. It's possible, but it's rare. It's very, very rare. You know, that's not a easy thing to find. But again, who says you got to be in a relationship anyway? Okay, be in a relationship with yourself. Dale writes, she ran her ex-husband into the grave. Oh, karma going too for her, right? Now she said 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. Jenny, 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. So he putting in like 16-hour days, 18-hour days, some old crazy shit. Ronald writes, sounds like stepdaddy had to work 2 jobs to pick up the slack, and he died from having overworked, broken heart. Could have been. That's some sad shit. And people will do you like that. People will run you straight into the ground because of what makes them feel good, if you let them. The notion of a soulmate is as goofy as they live happily ever after. I'm with you as well on the soulmate kick. I think that sounds good, but soulmate, as if it's just one person, I don't think I believe that at all. Shelly Shell writes, so this lady was looking for status, not love. Yeah. Yep. Died overworked, unappreciated, and brokenhearted. Mm-hmm. Sheila writes, LOL. Nakia writes, messy bees. Dare writes, nah, I go both ways. Mike writes, she'll meet her match. And that's how life is, Mike. You're so right. I've said it before. I'll say it again. You be doing dirt out here. The manner in which you was doing dirt, something connected with the way you was doing dirt is going to come back to bite you every single time. That's just the way the universe works. This is how God set it up. It is what it is. Brandy writes, Nate, you have to look up the title Worst Woman I've Ever Spoken to. It's on Kevin Samuel's show. It's crazy. Okay, I will. He's always fun to watch. Crystal writes, she's stupid. She just threw away a great man. Right. Now, another woman, it's not all women. It's just, there's a myth out there. And I've said it before, there's a myth that women are just waiting for a good man to come into their life because when a good man come into a woman's life, she knows how to respond. That is not true. It's one of the biggest lies about relationships out there. That is not true. Some women can, and some women don't know what to fucking do. For some women, jumping in bed with a man is as far as they got that. But when it comes to an emotional connection, intimacy, even respect, you know what I'm saying, loyalty, all that kind of shit, that is foreign to them. They don't have, it's like you speak in a different language. Like, what you say you want me to do? I don't have, you fellas, you just never know. You just never know. I mean, there are some indicators, but you just never know. Brent writes, to make sure you have older mentors who have been married for 20 plus years to guide you through your marriage and your feelings. That's a good thing. But if the individual inside the relationship ain't feeling it, it don't really matter if they got a mentor or not. It don't matter whether they got a good example. It's just something inside that individual person. Rachel writes, toxic femininity and masculinity is a catchphrase like narcissism. Everyone defines these behaviors by their own emotions, not the clinical definition. Let me see. Michael writes, she for the streets. Right. It's some women that's just for the streets. It's some men that's just for the streets. That's where they should be at. That's where they're good at. You know what I'm saying? Just run the streets, you know, whatever that means. And they're good at that. Intimacy, like a deeper connection, that's not where they're good at. And I think people should always be them best selves. Like, if you're not good at that, then don't try it. Because all you're going to do is going to mess somebody up. Just go do you. And that comes with consequences. And just deal with the consequences. Just do your life. Like with this sister right here, you know, on some level, she did the right thing. She did the right thing. She didn't want to be married no more for whatever her reason was, and she got divorced. That's what she should have done. But you can't sit back later on and be crying in your spilt milk or whatever, because you made all the decisions. You decided to get with him. You decided it wasn't enough. You decided to end it. You made all the decisions. You're in full control. Deal with it. Deal with it. I would love for the OWN network to follow her for like the next 5 to 10 years and to see how this story ends. And from a male perspective, you as a man, if I met her, I would never trust her, ever. Now, we might kick it. We might have a little fun and maybe we go out. But for me to trust you and you dogged out your husband, I would never trust you. Even if I liked you, I couldn't trust you. Because if you did that to him, you'd do it to me. You know what I'm saying? That's how men look at it. Fellas, tell me if I'm wrong on that. If you met a woman and she told you that story, and you know damn well that when she tells a man that story, she gonna add all some other shit. Well, you know, he used to say little things to me. You know, she gonna try to make it seem like he was more of a bad guy to justify what she did. But fellas, if you met this woman, you out in the club, you meet her, y'all kick it, and then you ask her about what happened with her marriage, and she tell you this, would you get with her? Would you be in a relationship with her? Would you trust her with your heart? Hell fucking no, I wouldn't. I might hit it, but I ain't gonna spend no real time with you. I ain't gonna get emotionally invested in you because you're not to be trusted. So she got a problem. She got a problem because now, think about this. So now moving forward, she's single. She meets a guy. It's gonna come up. Were you ever married? Yeah, I was married. What happened? So now she either gonna do one or two things. She either gonna tell the truth, which if she's dealing with a man of any substance, of any conscience, who has any way about himself, as soon as you tell him that, he ain't gonna take you seriously. And if you lie to him, now you've opened up the door of lies in your relationship. It's like a lose, 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 lose. Ain't no way out of it. The kind of man that would accept her now is not the kind of man that she probably even want to be with. Consequences of your actions. I mean, that shit is not a game. What I say is just be yourself. I think ultimately she did the right thing because she didn't want to be there. She wasn't going to be happy. She wasn't going to make him happy. So she had to leave. I get it, but she never should have got into this shit. Quite honestly, but it is what it is. It's hard to say shoulda, woulda, coulda. We just spitballing about a story and a relationship that I don't really know this woman. I'm just giving you my opinion based upon this video. I could be totally wrong about this, but this video, don't make baby girl look good at all. Not at all. Joe writes, that brother was working 2-3 jobs. Rachel writes, nobody can expect their partner to bring things to the table you can't bring yourself. Omar writes, this chick started by saying we made all the mistakes. Nah, hun, that was all you. Well, she got to, you know how people are. She got to throw some shit on him to make it seem like he had some culpability. He did something wrong. But you're right about that. Yeah, she said, well, we made all the mistakes. I didn't hear any mistakes that he made. His mistake was he got with her. That was his mistake. Ronald Rice preaching, ain't nobody trusting her if they know what we know. Exactly. Elijah Rice hit and run, because that's what a man will do in that situation. A man will hit it, and that's it. Take you seriously, emotionally invest in you? No. So some of these women out here, when you start opening your mouth and talking about how you did your ex and all that kind of shit, believe me, the man is listening to every word. Every word you say, he listening. And he gonna judge you based upon how you dealt him, because that's what men do. Oh, how you do your ex? That's how you would do me. How you do the dude that you with now? That's how you do me. If you dogged him out, you'll dog me out. Simple as that. That's how men look at it. That's the code. That's the code. Dale writes, a wise man knows there's two sides to each story. True. Sean writes, can you say side piece? Right, she'll be side piece forever. Or she gonna lie. So now you're lying. So now you open up another door that's not good for a potential relationship. It's just bad, 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 and bad, and bad. And now she got to live with the regret, because dude's dead. She can't go back. She can't make it right. It's just one of them things that life is one of those things that sometimes you do things that never go away. It's always with you on some levels. And this is one of those things. Brent writes, we would be having a totally different conversation, a reason for ending marriage. I'm working 18 hours a day and wasn't there for her physically and mostly. And mostly, okay. She also pushed the father out of her child's life. Well, I don't know the story about that. Ronald writes, it's donuts for her. TNT writes, stop it. Men will fall for gold diggity trophy wives all the time. Men will fall for gold diggity trophy wives all the time. A trophy wife is different from a gold digger. Men will fall for. You're right, TNT. Men fall for shit that women say all the time. You're right about that. You know what I'm saying? That's why BBD said never trust a big butt and a smile. It gets us every time. It's true. You're right. It gets men all the time. BBD said it best. Never trust a big butt and a smile. They were absolutely true. Shout out to Belle Biv DeVoe. You're right, TNT. Men fall for it all the time. You're right. Shame on us. Shame on us. Ronald writes, her best, now we got jokes. Her best hope might be to find an African prince with money. She could be a concubine. Nakia writes, women do the same, Nate. I'm sure they do. You should. But we're just talking about the male perspective. We always talking about the female perspective. So I want to spend some time talking about the male perspective, because men have feelings too. Women think that men are just a penis and muscles. No, we have feelings as well. You're like, wait a minute, you're not? Snap. Yes, that's right, ladies. We're not. We're more than just testicles, a penis, and muscles and deep voices. We got more. There's more to us. Oh, man. Jericho writes, maybe I'm missing something. I see a woman who is holding herself accountable for her failure as a wife. With age comes wisdom. I applaud her for taking ownership and voicing her regrets. Lesson learned, I hope. Yeah. That's one way of seeing it. Absolutely. For sure. You definitely can respect a person. Listen, sometimes you make mistakes, you learn from it. Absolutely, 100%. Sometimes you make a mistake and you never make that mistake again because you realize how effed up it was. Absolutely, 100%. Absolutely. But Jericho, I'm bringing this up because it caught my attention. And two, I just want to make sure that people understand there's a other side out there. Okay. And this video basically solidifies a few points that I've been making over the years. As I've said, from her own mouth. Dude was A1 to her and her kid. She said unconditional. Like, what does that mean, unconditional? That's because there's a condition on everything, right? But unconditional love, that's some of that agape love. That's some God love. Human beings ain't built for no agape love. I mean, we have that kind of love for our children, but for our spouses, do we have, it's like they can do whatever? I don't believe that shit at all. But I mean, there's something that somebody can do. You like, you know what? I'm out. But I hear you. That needs to be said, Jerica. Thank you for saying it. LaMonica writes, good morning. Nikki writes, men do fall for it. Yeah, men fall for a big butt and a smile all the time. You're right. We do. Silly us. Shame on us. Shame on us. I know. 513-873-7134. If you'd like to share your thoughts again, I know more people are in the stream and people are always turning over every 15, 20 minutes or so. I just want to remind you that if you're interested in being a part of our investments club and you weren't on, and even if you were, you might want to just have the video so you can review it. Great. Maybe you want to share it with your family or your spouse or something that wasn't in the virtual meeting on Wednesday. Then just email me or direct message me or text message me. You got 3 avenues. And say, look, Nate, I want that investment video, and I'll send you the link. I'll send it out today and tomorrow. So by Sunday, I should have it to everybody that wants it. And there's no obligation. It's just a video. You can read, you can watch, the presentation from Chuck Futel. He spoke for about 40 minutes, 30, 40 minutes. He said 30 minutes, but I think it was more like 40 minutes, but it was very, very, very informational. It's very informational. And the entrance, if you want to be a part of the investment club, Chuck recommends that you start with 1,000, a stack, and then put $100 every single month into it. Okay. Maybe you don't have a stack. Okay, great. You don't have to have a stack. You can just start with $100 a month. And I guess he's recommending that just because to see how the money compounds and things like that. So I think that is, I think that it's a reasonable barrier for entry for people who might be interested. And just want to put that out there because when we were in the video at the very end, he said something different. It sounded like he was saying you got to start with 1,000, but you do not. He was just saying that as a recommendation because the money combines and multiplies faster when you got more money in the pot, obviously. So I thought it was I learned and again, I met with Chuck. So I got some of this already, but just seeing the whole presentation, I definitely picked up some tips for sure. All right. So if you're interested, you can email me, nathansflow@gmail.com, NATHANS as in Sam, flow@gmail.com. You can text message me at 513-953-4224. You'll get an automated response. You'll see my face. You'll know you're in the right place. Or you can direct message me on Facebook. Any whatever's convenient for you. Okay. And that way, if you put it in the chop shop, I'm going to miss it. Okay. And that way you can be a part of it. And I think that everybody should see the presentation first and then make your decision afterward. That's it. Charles is in the house. Good morning to you. Right. Good morning. Have a blessed and safe day. Thank you, sir. Same to you. Grasson writes, yeah, I'm cool on this topic today. This is triggering for me. Yeah, man. I'm sorry about that, bro. I just thought about that. I know you have some issues. I mean, everybody's had some issues. Yeah, I get it. I'm not trying to trigger anybody. Pardon me. I'm not trying to trigger anybody. Pardon me again. Just want to have a conversation with you. Just wanted to make that point. I thought it was like, wow, she admitting everything, huh? Shaba writes, I'm going to take a big heart and a forehead over a big butt and a smile. I know that's right. Jared writes, I'm going to email you, Nate, and check it out. Has anyone else been to the Icon Music Center? I went the other night and thought it was pretty nice. I have not. Pamela writes, good morning. Jerica writes, informative. Good morning to you. Women's booties be hypnotizing. Damn, LOL. Oh, boy. What did I open up? Brent writes, I gave you a brand new Ford, but you said I want a Cadillac. I brought you a $10 dinner. You said, thanks for the snack. I let you live in my penthouse. You said it was just a shack. I don't know. We're all on a different journey out here. People have to find their love and find their good spots. It's It is what it is. It is what it is. But I wanted to share that with you. Again, 513-873-7134. I know the draft was last night. I ain't even watched none of that shit. I never watched the draft. They drafted, they get on the court, they get on the field. We'll see what they can do. But I know for my football fans out there, that's probably something that, you was really into. The Bengals. I think they picked up a cornerback from Michigan, I think. That was their first pick at 31st, the 31st pick in the first round, if I remember correctly. I just saw it this morning. So it is what it is. In Ohio, Republican lawmakers want to ban abortion. If Roe v. Wade is overturned, Republican lawmakers want to ban abortion in Ohio, even in the cases of incest or rape. I will never understand why white men are so involved in women's fallopian tubes and reproductive organs. I'll never understand it. House Bill 598 was introduced by Rep. Jean Schmidt, Republican from Loveland, so she is a female. And it would penalize doctors who perform abortions if Roe v. Wade is overturned. So these cats, man, have been going after Roe v. Wade for years, and they've learned how to work the system, right? And they'll send all these cases to the Supreme Court hoping that one of them works. And then as soon as it happens in the state legislature that are dominated by Republicans, they already got bills in place to further capitalize off of it. I just don't understand it. You're anti-abortion, but you're pro-war. You're anti-abortion because you believe in life, but you're pro-death penalty. You're anti-abortion, but you're anti-welfare. You're anti-kid. You're anti-family. I don't get it. I just don't understand it. I get it. I think we should leave women the F alone when it comes to making a difficult decision like that. Some women have abortions. That shit that messes with them for the rest of their life. Had abortion in their 20s, 50 years old, having nightmares, having regrets, can't forgive themselves, and all this kind of stuff. And then these cats just make it worse. House Bill 598, introduced by Rep. Jean Schmidt. Is she even having sex? Is Jean Schmidt even having sex still? I mean, gosh darn. This is crazy. And then Jean Schmidt sparked outrage during a hearing on the abortion bill. And again, this is an OMG. You ain't going to believe what this woman said. You're not going to believe it. Are you sitting down? Sit down. Sit down. Sit down, please, because it's going to knock you down. This is a woman. This is a human being. Republican State Rep. Jean Schmidt. She sparked outrage during a hearing on abortion when she said a hypothetical teenager traumatized by rape would have the opportunity to help that child become a productive human being. So she wants women to embrace their rape baby. This is a woman. So that's how they look at this? Like, sure, you're traumatized, but hey, you got this gift. You can make the best out of it. Help the baby of your rapist become a productive human being. This is what happens when we don't put our eyes on what's happening in the state of Ohio. We get this kind of goofy ass shit. This has to be one of the most offensive things I've read in a long time. Like, this is a woman. And what I would say to Jean Schmidt is, show me how it was done first. I don't believe it. Is this what you did, Jean Schmidt? Are you speaking from experience? You were raped and decided to raise the child. If you didn't do that, I don't have anything to say to you. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my entire life. So that's what the white female Republican who is pro-life has to say to women. If this bill passes, if Roe v. Wade is overturned, and you become the victim of a sexual assault and become impregnated, this is what she has to say for you. It's an opportunity. God's little blessing. God's little blessing. I think that has to be one of the most repugnant plantation shit I ever heard in my entire life. Jean Schmidt needs to have her ass whooped for saying some shit like this. Like, women need to catch her and corner her and force her and confront her. Don't put your hands on her, but confront her on this dumb shit she just said. This has to be the absolutely one of the most repugnant things I've read in a long time. So number one, you a teenager, 18, 19, and that's what a teenager's years in. Having a child at 18, 19, 17 is hard enough as it is. On top of the fact of, hypothetically, in her hypothetical situation, a woman, a teenager, is impregnated by her rapist. And you think it's a good thing. I believe in a woman's right to choose. I don't have fallopian tubes. I don't have a vagina. I don't have reproductive organs like a woman. I can't carry a term to baby. So quite honestly, if all the women's got together and made y'all own decision, I'd be cool with it because it's your body. But even though I'm not a woman, I can recognize just how repugnant this is. But this is what they think of you. This is what they think of you. This is what a woman in the Republican Party thinks of other women. This OMG, this is wild. She said this in an open hearing with everybody there and watching her, and like they got closed circuit TV and all this kind of stuff. You got reporters there. And she said this with a straight face. Well, hypothetically, a teenager traumatized by rape would have the opportunity to help that child become a productive human being. Now, you're right. It's not the child's fault. Babies just want to be babies. I get it. But I don't think that in that case that we should take away that, because what you're not thinking about is how the mother might even view that child. She's looking at this child who's got the face of her rapist every single day. That can't be easy. That can't be easy. That can't be good for the family. So, you can be pro-choice or pro-abortion or anti-abortion. I get it, but we just got to be consistent. I value consistency in human beings. Just be consistent to who you say you are. OMG. Your point is well taken, those talk shows. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh. This is what Jean Schmidt actually said. So they all in their feelings about abortion. I don't even think about abortion, to be honest with you. That's just not my issue. What I would say to Jean Schmidt and all the anti-abortion people out there, if you're so anti-abortion, is very simple. Don't have an abortion. I would say the same thing about abortion, and people might think it's oversimplification, but it really isn't. Like, how many people out here don't like Popeyes? If you don't like Popeyes, you know what you should do? Don't try to change the laws to put Popeyes out of business. I don't think you should get a billboard and protest outside of the Popeyes chicken because you don't like it. Just don't eat it. Like, that ain't a thing no more. Just don't do it. Like, if you don't like gay marriage, then don't be in a gay marriage. If you don't like transgender people, then don't become transgender. And if you don't like abortion, you're not for abortion, then don't have one. Don't have one. But don't try to tell other people what to do with their body. It's the most ridiculous shit I ever heard in my entire life. Daryl writes, Jean Schmidt is a loon. She is a straight loon for that one. Again, this is the most repugnant thing I've read in a long time. So the bill, House Bill 598, would go into effect if Roe v. Wade is overturned. And before you say, well, that could never happen, they've been talking about Roe v. Wade for years. That's right. The forces that are anti-abortion have been at this crusade for years. It's part of the reason why Trump got in office. Because he got the evangelicals behind him because he was anti-abortion. Meanwhile, he cheating on his wife, paying off porn stars, grabbing women by the ussy. But the evangelicals loved him because he was on some anti-abortion type stuff, and those were the type of judges that he was going to get behind. That was enough for them. Currently, the United States Supreme Court is set to review a case from Mississippi. There's a Mississippi ban on the procedure after 15 weeks of pregnancy. So they're never going to stop. The forces against anti-abortion are going to keep stacking the courts. They're going to keep working the courts. They're going to keep pushing these cases until they get what they want, unless they're stopped. So this House bill, this Ohio House Bill 598, has no exception for rape or incest. So that bill would, let's say you got a 13-year-old girl that became pregnant after rape. The bill would require that 13-year-old girl to carry her rapist fetus to term, regardless of any emotional or psychological damage or trauma that may be inflicted upon the girl. And Jean Schmidt was asked that straight up. She was asked that question. Here was her response. Quote, rape is a difficult issue and it emotionally scars the individual all or in part for the rest of their life, just as a child abuse does. And if a baby is created, it is a human life. And whether the mother ends that pregnancy or not, the scars will not go away, period. This is another woman. This is Jean Schmidt. How in the hell? It's the world we live in. Rachel writes, Republicans ain't hurt nobody but their own constituents. Perhaps they are. Perhaps they're not. Perhaps they're not. Seems like somebody likes it. All right, let me take a quick break here, pause in the action to get a word in from our sponsors this morning. Good morning to you. Don't forget, our friends over at Renew Community Church, they do a Sunday morning live class, a Sunday morning master class. It's a live stream, 11:45 a.m. Eastern time. This Sunday's topic, 60 seconds to a better mind. Learn how to have better mental health. And again, you can tap in on Facebook, facebook.com/Cincy Renew, and also on YouTube, Renew Community Church live stream. Check it out. But here's a word from our sponsor. Check them out. We'll be right back.
For today are better mental health. It takes 60 seconds for the universe through the invisible law of attraction to be fully activated in your life. God's invisible law of attraction is available to you today because you are just 60 seconds away from better mental health. Take the next 60 seconds and improve your mental health by telling a mental health story for 60 seconds 3 times a day for 21 days. Why 21 days? Because that's how long it will take to change your life. Now say this mental health story out loud 3 times a day. It is my divine and human right to embrace inner peace, calmness, and happiness today. I confess that my mind is calm and alert and sharp and focused. I focus on what I really, really want today. Today, I allow love, joy, peace in my life.
Today's show is also brought to you by the good folks at the Mother's Day event, All You Can Eat Southern Swank. It'll be on Mother's Day starting at 11 a.m. It goes from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. There's a link in today's description that will take you to their Eventbrite page. You can read more about what's on the menu. They got you covered. They got you covered. They got the breakfast bar. They got the waffles bar, the salad bar. They got you covered. Trust me. The desserts, the main courses, they got you. Also, mimosas will be available. It'll be at the Above and Beyond Planning and Event Center. And the way I look at it is, man, that relationship with your mom or the mothers in your life is so special. So special. She brought you into this world. She nurtured you. Or perhaps you're married to a woman and you want to do something for the mother-in-law. or maybe it's your sister or your auntie. All right, do something special, an experience, and this could be it. Just hit the link in today's description and you can read more about it and also purchase tickets. Tickets are $50, but it comes with a full spread. They got you covered. All you're going to have to do is get moms a card. Everything else is taken care of for you. All right. Hit the link, check it out, have a great time, do something very special, an experience for the mother in your life. And believe me, you will thank me later. You'll thank me later. Check it out. Links in the description. $50 per ticket. They got you fully covered. All you have to do is get mom a card. Imagine what her face will look like. It's a beautiful thing. Got to take care of the mothers, man. Got to take care of moms. Every time I say moms and Mother's Day, I think about Chairman Mom not being here. It's just so crazy, yo. It's like, it's hard to believe because this woman's been in my life since I got here. And now she's not here and I'm still here. It's just, I'm not going to break down on the air. I'll do it later. Aaliyah writes, it's about crazy old white men wanting absolute power of women and their crazy wives and daughters co-signing, right? Michelle writes, that's crazy. That is crazy. Yo, check it. I stay out of the abortion conversation because I'm not a woman. The women should come together, have a national convention. Y'all decide what y'all want to do with abortion. And I think a woman's right to choose is the right thing to do. You choose. You choose. You deal with the consequences. It's your life. Some of these folks out here, I've told you this story. I was walking in the Coreyville, not Coreyville, but I was working in the Mount Auburn. I was walking on Mount Auburn many years ago, and they've got a women's clinic over there, and I do think they perform abortions. And these sites have been like ground zero for the culture wars. It's not uncommon. If you drive past it right now, you're probably going to see people out there with signs. I think it's an affront to our community standards. That's what I think. If I was sitting out there with a sign of two people having intercourse, I'd probably get arrested. But it's okay for you to stand out there with a photograph of a mangled fetus and all these people just driving around, just trying to live their life, kids looking at it. That's okay. Anyway, I'm walking past there because I was doing my thing, walking down Sycamore, walking downtown using Sycamore Hill and walking back to the crib. I'm walking back to the crib, white woman. She sees me coming. She walks over to me and she says the stupidest shit ever, talking about black babies. I'm looking at this woman like, please, get the fuck away from me talking about black babies and you're white and I'm black. I'm talking about some fucking black baby. You know, there's a lot of black babies that get aborted. I just looked at her. I gave her the look. You know what I'm saying? It's that same look, kind of, that Birdman gave to the Breakfast Club. Like, y'all got me fucked up. You know what I'm saying? You know how the word goes. It's that same look that OJ gave to Ron Nicole. Like, oh, this is what you doing now? I'm paying for all this. You hooking up with the waiter? That look. That same look that Moses gave Pharaoh, or should I say Pharaoh gave Moses, talking about let my people go. It's like, you better get an army. Where's your army at, Moses? I just gave her the look like, you don't get away from me. But then I had to teach her. And so I asked her, I'm like, so do you have any children? Oh, I raised my babies. I'm done with that. All these babies out here that's in that's in adoption agencies, why don't you adopt some? I did my time. I did it. Exactly. You did what you wanted to do. And now you're up here with a sign trying to convince people to do what you want them to do. The fuck away from me. And I walked away. I hope she'll never do that shit no more. Talking about, do I know that black babies are being aborted? If you don't get your ass away from me, I was pissed. I'm getting pissed all over again. I was extremely offended. I'm a black man, and you're not. Say shit to me about us. Lee writes, this needs to be left alone. If a woman was raped by a family member, society says she should raise a child. Sickening. That's a typical, again, there are women out there that might have been raped and raised a kid. Whatever she wants to do for her is good with me. Period. I don't have no opinion about it. You do you, sis. Whatever you got to do. Whatever you got to do. Whatever you got to do to survive that trauma is what you got to do. Period. TNT writes, we need recall message. Jean sounds crazy per usual. She's always been a little off, but she really off now. Holly writes, repugnant is a great way to define Gene Schmidt's comments. Yeah, it's repugnant. You're talking about offensive. So what we doing? Drop Rice, CNN poll Biden and the desperate Democrats losing black support by double digits, 87 to 67 before midterms. That's way more than 5 to 8% is all it takes. Yeah, I've read that. I've read that Biden was losing support with younger voters too. You know, it's the ebb and flow. What I would say about the Biden administration is they're not moving fast enough on things they can move fast on. There's some things that legislatively they just can't do because we have gridlock in the U.S. Senate. But through what is that is when the what's it called? What's that called? It's a maneuver that the president can use where he can just kind of like make something not necessarily a law, but he can make it happen just by signing onto it. For whatever reason, my mind is locked up and it's not coming quicker to me. But by using that device, whatever it is, it'll come to me. Biden can do a lot. He's thinking about doing something right now with student loans. Then he needs to do it. You know, what people need to see from Biden is decisive action, period. Do it. Executive order. Whatever he can do through executive order, do it. If you can forego student loans through executive orders, do it. And make sure the population knows it's executive orders, meaning that if you're not reelected, the next president come in and undo it through an executive order. Do it. That's what Trump did. Trump was doing all kind of shit through executive order. The goofiest shit ever. Do it. People want to see action. They want to see action, just like with these Democrats. I think they should have got away with the filibuster. But they're looking at the trends like, well, you know, we about to lose some seats here. So if we do that, then we're going to give them all the power. And when they get the power, they do whatever they want to do. Well, then when you get the power, you do whatever you want to do. Just do it. We'll see. We'll see. And some black voters are very dissatisfied because they haven't seen enough movement. But it's not just the movement. The one thing that Trump was good at is that he had a single-minded determination about the shit that his base cared about. And it wouldn't matter. Trump would be having trade talks in Taiwan and would get off script to reinforce his campaign messages. And that's the shit that Biden needs to do. People want to see that energy. They want to see you mad. They want to see it every time, over and over. They want to know exactly where you stand. You ain't get the George Floyd Policing Act, then gosh darn it, every time you hit the microphone, talk about that shit. Let it be known how upset you are about it and exactly how you feel and what you. Trump was good at that for his base. That's why they loved him, because no matter where Trump went, he was always on that base shit. Now, he was talking a bunch of nonsense, right? It was nursery rhymes and riddles and bullshit. We got that, but I'm saying it's the perception. And the perception is with Biden, with a lot of people, is he just, oh, it didn't work. Okay, we'll move to the next thing. People they want you to be a warrior for their causes. And you can be a warrior even though you can't get shit past the Senate. Every single time you hold a press conference, talk about that shit. Every single time. What's this Negro doing? This Negro goes to the State of the Union, and now he talking about some pro-police shit. And I'm not saying the president should ever be anti-police, but he went straight to the other side on it. Like, oh, we got to get more police. But I'm like, wait a minute. Huh? That's just me. Good morning to you. Lee writes, remember, once stupidity replaced common sense, Rome fell. Aaliyah writes, something is taken from women, girls when they experience rape. So having to live with that reminder by having their child is not healthy for the woman or the child. I would agree with you. I've never been raped. I can't speak from that perspective, but I can see that, Aaliyah. And that shit makes me mad. Shit makes me real mad. I'm telling you, I hate to see people being taken advantage of. Hate it. You'll see the other side of me real quick. I don't like it. I don't roll with that shit. I don't think it's funny. And I think the people that do those kind of things should get exactly what they deserve. She also is behind House Bill 616, which is our CRT ban in school bill. But it also calls the 1619 project intersectional theory and diversity, inclusion, and equity as inherently racist subjects. Read it. Bullshit for yourself. Really? These folks, man. Gene Schmidt is not a friend of the community, in my opinion. You could put the baby up for adoption, just saying, right? You could. You could. You could, Mike. But again, as a man, I can't tell a woman what to do with her body. I won't go there. Whatever a woman decides to do is whatever she decides to do. I wish her the best. And if a woman decides to get an abortion, I don't hold that against them. That shouldn't be a scarlet letter for the rest of your life. You made a difficult decision, sis, hun. You made a difficult decision. It was hard, but you did in that moment what you thought was the right thing to do. And if you think it's the right thing to do, then you got to deal with it. You know, when you make a decision and you know it's the wrong thing to do, you do it anyway, that shit'll eat with you forever because you knew you was wrong. But when you do the right thing in that moment, don't have no regrets. It was the right thing in that moment. But I know how it is. Women will kill themselves internally because they did that. They'll never get over it. They'll never get it. Some of them anyway. And it's sad. Aaliyah writes, and the kicker, you will be forever tied to the rapist. Next, you'll find the father has rights. Good morning, Wanda. Charles writes, they are trying to hurt Lakeisha, but only end up producing scholars which birth, burn, and bury their unwanted pregnancies. Right. I remember that. Drop writes, Biden Democrats have lost 20% support from black voters just within the last year. 87% approval rate. In 2021, now his approval ratings with black Democrats is 67%. Do black votes matter? Let me see. Joe Rice, sending you strength during this mother season, my brother. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. It's gonna be. I'm gonna have my moments. I had a moment a couple weeks ago. I just broke down. I'm like, damn, out of nowhere. I'm like, where'd this come from? But I just let myself go through it. I just let myself go through it because I'm human too. Sometimes you just got to deal with shit. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nate. What's going on? It's been an interesting topic. Jean Schmidt has always been like that, even when I lived there. I mean, so she represents Loveland, which is not surprising. So did she ever make it to the federal level, or has she always been state?
No, I think she was a congressperson for some time. Yeah, I think she was in
so
Congress.
She did.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. Like when I lived there, I thought she was a congressperson, and now she, took her stuff down to the state level, probably because they redid the district or something. Who knows? But she's man. That look. The bottom line is, and I'm speaking to those that are Christian or believe in that faith, or if you have any faith. I mean, I kind of I feel like you, Nate. I get offended, just like this what you said. What happened? That situation that happened to you when you were walking, and you confronted that, or she confronted you, and you provided a rebuttal to what she was saying. That's the same. That's the same thing. If you've seen the video with the guy breaking out with his guitar, singing Christian songs on the airplane. It's the same thing. The arrogance, I'm a Christian, but but I understand that everybody don't believe the way I believe or feel the way I feel. And, as far as what I've been taught in my study of the Bible and Jesus, is that number one, Christians aren't easily offended, but these Christians are easily offended by CRT, whatever that means. They're easily offended by things that they don't believe. And it's like, well, if you don't agree with it, then don't go that way. It's that simple. People have the free. The Bible, I mean, really, it boils down to free will and to love others. That's really it. And love Jesus, believe in Jesus. But I'm just saying, if you want to really break it down, we have free will, and that's it. And I don't know how people get tripped up by not seeing the free will. With what I think some Democrats need to do, they need to, because we can clearly see that the right wing, they're about white Jesus, and not, i.e. white supremacy, i.e. Ku Klux Klan Christianity. That's what they're about. And to me, I don't know why they don't do this. I guess they just don't want to, there's a portion of the left that they don't want to turn off, but they could use a Christian, they could, in their messaging, use Christian language and beliefs and just turn it around on the right wing, because they bastardize Christianity. And that's what pisses me off. I mean, if you know scripture, you can see it. They contradict themselves all the time. And so if people like Gene Smith, all these laws on the state level, there was this dude in Tennessee, he's trying to have book burnings of, classic literature, classic African-American literature. I mean, stuff that's classic. They're trying to have a book burning for that. And I'm like, these people are nuts, and they don't represent the Christ that I know. So that's the first thing. But getting to what drop. See, again, I got to bring some disinfectant to the chop shop. So here it comes. He references the latest CNN poll that Biden's support among Black people dropped, right? But do you watch The Circus on Showtime?
I do not.
Okay. Well, there's this Black polling firm called the Futures Lab that has Alicia Garza and
I'm here to them.
Other.
They do great work.
Okay. Yes, they do. So check this out, man. They ran all these focus groups, and the results go in line with what Drop said. They speak to what, like Biden, the disappointment. They feel like things aren't being needed, right? But when they because I saw the dude interview for this, he said, but when they asked the question, do you support Trump? I forgot how they worded it, but it was basically, do you support Trump policies, or Trump-like candidates? They were overwhelmingly against it. And that's what Drop does. Drop is like a little demon. I mean, bro comes in, he gives an ounce of truth, and then he twists it with a lie. Because I'm like, Drop, I don't even know if you knew that, but do some better research, brother. So it's not that, Black people, you got two things happening at one time. Yes, we're disappointed. George Floyd didn't get done. Voting rights didn't get done. Those are the two. Oh, and the police were. Oh, that was George Floyd. I'm trying to think. What was the other big issue? I thought there was three big issues with the Black community. There's two, but was there a third one, or was those the big two?
I'm sure there was, but I can't recall. I don't know what you're trying to recall, should I say?
Yeah, but those two issues right there. But what I'm saying is that those issues are going to suppress, and people aren't going to be excited. It's going to be a tough sell unless Biden does some executive order stuff at this point. But again, he didn't bring in that other side. And like I said, maybe he didn't know, but I'm here to provide some clarity to those numbers that Black people aren't jumping on the side of Trump and Trump-like candidates. I mean, get that out of your head. And it's almost like brother is wishing for our votes to be suppressed, that we don't come out to make his point. At this point, it's not about Republican and Democrat. It's about right versus wrong. It's about democracy versus fascism. It's not even about DNR anymore, because you have people like and I ain't giving her I ain't giving her too much credit, but yeah, people like Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, some other Republicans, they're against this fascism that's moving through the country. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to look past party. He keeps framing it in Democrat versus Republicans and the black Democrats the desperate Democrats. And I'm like, that's some Fox News talking point. And I know we're not buying into the chop shop, but drop every time you come on with that stuff, bruh, I'm going to follow you up and I'm going to bust your chops. Take care, Nate. Have a nice weekend, bro.
Have a good weekend. I've said the same thing to Drop. Like, just because black people, black voters might be dissatisfied with the job that Biden is doing, don't mean that they're willing to go to the Republican Party. That doesn't mean that. And I've been saying it to him for years. I'm glad Daryl's picking up on it. It's two completely different things. But he mentioned Black Futures Lab. I am hip to them. They do great work. And that's why I was a little upset with Ice Cube. The reason why I was a little upset with Ice Cube is because Ice Cube talking about, ain't nobody else out here doing no black agenda. Use a gosh darn lie. You ain't did your homework, bro. It's people already out there that have created black focus pack. I can think of 4 of them off the top of my head. All doing great work. You just gonna come in here because you got a name talking about what black people ain't doing. Wait a minute, you disrespecting the people that's already there. Come on now. I mean, what's the whole point of this, Ice Cube? Was the point for you to get pub for doing this, or is the point for it to be done? And to me, it's about it being done. I don't have to recreate what somebody else already doing in that manner. This ain't like a business, ain't like a restaurant or a bar where somebody's got a bar on one side of the street and you want to open the bar with an idea. Yeah, open it across the street. That's different. And I'm very hip to the Black Futures Lab. And they do something called the Black Census Project. They've been doing it for years. And they're asking black voters, what are the issues that are relevant to you? Rather than you and your boys going in the room, coming up with the issues and you're going to tell the people. The way it should be done is you survey the people, you figure out what the people want, and then you fix your policy around it. To me, that makes more sense. That's just me. So that's what ticked me off. I remember we had some real heated conversation about Ice Cube because I think people were misunderstanding what I'm saying. I respect and embrace anybody that's out here trying to do something for us, but I can't overlook the people that's already there. It seemed like it was some gender bias because a man said it. We're going to overlook these sisters that start these black packs that's been doing this work for, in some cases, a decade. I'm just supposed to overlook that because Ice Cube is here. I couldn't do that. I'm not going to do that. And people misunderstood what I was saying, or maybe they understood what I was saying, just disagree with me. But I'm glad he brought up Black Futures Lab. You can go to them right now. Go to their website right now. They got a Black Census Project 2022. They want to know what black people across the nation think. They're trying to reach 200,000 people. They want to know what the issues are that are important to you. So yeah, I'm very aware of them. I respect what they're doing. Same thing with P. Diddy. P. Diddy, he got the money talking about some, what was it called? The Black Party. We ain't heard shit else about it. P. Diddy good for that. He real good for getting his feelings and putting some shit out there, and then we don't hear shit else about it. Remember Vote or Die? Remember that? It's like, if you ain't gonna do this work, just stay the hell out of it. Don't get people all excited, and then you just disappear. You just ghost it. You're gonna ghost everybody. But let's go back to the phones. We got Drop on the line. Well, good morning, Drop.
What up, Nate? How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Good morning. Hey,
great show. Great show. I'm not touching the topic because I went through a divorce where my wife was the one said she wanted a divorce, so I ain't even going there. But Nate, I appreciate you reading some of my posts on the YouTube chat. I appreciate that, bro. But again, I just post the facts, Nate. You know my line, trust but verify. These things have been hidden from the mainstream media, or like I call it, the lamestream media. And again, I give a shout out to Durrell for mentioning the circus on Showtime and those black people who have their polling service, you know. But again, I just want to address what Durrell said in reference to that episode on the circus. Now, if you go to any polling service that does the same thing that this group does, yes, Black people are pissed off with the Democrat Party. It is not the first time it happened. I don't have to go in the past, but again, it's happened before. And this is what Black Democrats, old Negroes like Durrell, and I bet his ass is over 45, his old ass, this is what they do when they don't hold the Democrat Party accountable. What they'll say is, yes, Black voters aren't happy with the Democrats because they're a bunch of little ussies and they get stepped on by the Republicans, but they don't agree with any Republican policy. See, that's not the reason that they're not happy with the Democrats. They do not like the bull stuff that they continue to do to their number one constituents, the Black voter, 80 to 90%. Now, you remember, Nate, in the years, I always had this line about 5 to 8 is all it takes. And I told you that this goes all the way back to 2000 with Gore versus Bush. They saw the Black vote was starting to leave the Democrats, Nate, because they couldn't hit that number within the Black community. And again, Black people ain't going to run to the Republican Party like Durrell tried to imply. No, Black voters will just stay home. Y'all saw that was the case in 2016 with Hillary Clinton. And if you look at the amount of Black votes that Joe Biden got in 2020, Nate, I told you he got less than Hillary Clinton. But what put him over the top was the first time the Democrats won the majority of the white vote, i.e., white, female, educated, suburban women. But Nate,
so white people
what's
and Black
happening
people
now
wasn't messing with the Republican Party.
That's what I'm telling you, Nate.
Okay.
That's what I'm telling you. Black Republicans have never needed the number of Black voters to beat Democrats. They never have. So what I'm telling you now, Nate, you can research the story, the CNN polling, because they get in depth and they trace the history of the decline of the Black vote. And when you hear what he said, the main reason why the decline in the Black vote, the category within the Black voter, you're going to be shocked, Nate. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to trigger nobody, but I'm just putting the information out there. And I appreciate you, Nate, reading my post and putting it out there.
Before you
and
go,
you
Drop,
saying that you...
Is there anything that you think that Durrell was correct about?
I never said he was wrong about anything other than the fact that to set aside the disgust of the Black voter with the current Democrat leadership and not address why they're upset. And he's going to say, yeah, they're mad, but they ain't voting Republican. Everybody knows that. That's an insult to the Black Democrat voter because the Republican Party does not have the same ideology as the Democrats. So if the Democrats aren't giving you what you expected when you gave them your vote in 2020, you can't get that from the Republicans. Nate, you said it. You said Republicans about X, Y, and Z. They ain't about the same thing that the Democrats are about. So all I'm saying, Nate, this 2020 this midterm coming up in the next 5 to 6 months is going to give more data to what was in that CNN poll about the direction of the Black vote. And the last time, Durrell is part of that older Black voter who is listening and hearing these young Black voters who are on Twitter, who are on all these other mediums. They're not happy, Nate. They ain't buying it. They ain't falling for the same rhetoric that Durrell is trying to endorse. Hold the Democrats accountable. And we're going to find out in the next 5 months because it's going to set the stage for the 2024 presidential election. Because, again, who do the Democrats have? And we know it ain't going to be old-ass Joe Biden. So, again, Nate, before I go, maybe Durrell or Glenn or whoever else who supports the Democrat Party can explain what's going to happen after November when the Republicans are back in charge. So, again, Nate, it's Friday. I ain't got no job. Oh, that's right. I'm retired. Golf Squad 52 dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Be safe in them streets, people.
Appreciate you, Drop. Appreciate the brother. Let me move on here real quick. I want to talk about again, I came to you with 3 OMG stories. We talked about 4 or 5, but I want to circle back around. And I'm reading that a local family is disappointed that a lost and found gun is going to bring a murder trial to a halt. A young man named Brandon Phoenix, he was an innocent bystander and was killed in a drive-by shooting back in 2019 in a neighborhood called Mount Airy. As I understand, he was sitting at the bus stop. I know exactly where that bus stop is. I've driven past it many times. And apparently somebody else was shooting. He got in the caught in the crossfire, I believe. Or I'm not sure if he was the target. Sitting at the bus stop. So a man was arrested and was in custody. The Hamilton County prosecutors were building a case against a man named Delrico Peoples. And it looks like that's going to come to an end because basically somebody lost and then found the murder weapon, the weapon in question. So it wasn't available for the defense. And looks like now the case is it's over with. Quote, exculpatory evidence is evidence that the defense is entitled to that is favorable to the defender, either as guilt or innocence. Even that could mitigate sentencing. That's from Jay Clark. That's the attorney for Mr. Delrico Peoples. So how do you lose and then find a murder weapon or a weapon that was supposed to be a part of it? And then in the article that I read, this man Jay Clark says that, you know, this is an issue he's dealt with before in terms of exculpatory evidence not being available for the defense. Yeah. And it looks like the family now is just going to have to deal with whatever happens. It's a very, very sad story. Very sad story. I think you can work with, okay. And I'm like, was it, and again, these are human beings. The police officers are human beings. The police department is nothing more than a building full of human beings. Human beings make mistakes. I get it. I get it 100%. Human beings make mistakes, but gosh darn, some mistakes, they cost you. It shouldn't happen. It is what it is. OMG, right? Talked about Gene Schmidt. We talked about I showed you the video of the woman who left her husband because he was her soulmate. He loved her. He loved her child that she had with another man, embraced him. She divorced him because he wasn't making enough money, even though he was working, what'd she say, 4 a.m. to 10 p.m.? That's like 18 hours. She couldn't appreciate it. He dies. She does a show on the OWN network. Now she regrets it. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Just underscores the point I was trying to make and have been making for years. We talked about Gene Schmidt and her OMG statement about abortion and how it's an opportunity for, she said, hypothetically, if a teenager is raped, I want some of these so-called Christian conservatives that care about kids. Show me how much you care and adopt these kids. Get them out the adoption agency. You would have an opportunity to help that child become a productive human being. But I bet she won't do that, will she? Or maybe she is. If she is, I give her props for it. And then lastly, we got to talk about the royal family, Prince Edward and Princess Sophie. That's the British monarchy, right? There was a time when the British monarchy, the sun never set on the British Empire. Ever heard that? There was a time where the sun never set on the British Empire. They had so much control over the globe. Those days are ended. But Prince Edward and Princess Kate were criticized because they were taking a Caribbean tour. Royal family is going to tour the Caribbean. And before they got started, somebody based in the Caribbean, an activist, wrote a letter to the Earl and Countess of Wessex saying basically save the phony sanctimony. This person said, quote, it's become common for members of the royal family and representatives of the government of Britain to come to this region and lament that slavery was an appalling atrocity and that it was abhorrent and that it should not have happened. Quote, we hear the phony sanctimony of those who came before you, that these crimes are a stain on your history. For us, you are the source of the genocide and continuing deep international injury injustice, and racism. We hope you will respect us by not repeating the mantra. So apparently, you know, the royal family does this. They'll go on a tour of the Caribbean to tour, I guess, their holdings and lamenting slavery. Oh, slavery is such a bad thing. And the people are like, Negro, knock it off. It remains a problem. Use the problem. What did Muhammad Ali say? Use my oppressor. I love the realness of it. I love the realness. Got a little wake-up call. Like, hey, we don't want you to dry tooling through the neighborhood, talking about how bad slavery was. What you gonna do about it? I loves it. Listen, have an excellent rest of your day, family. I really appreciate you being here. Before we roll out another word from our sponsors, I got to get that in. I want to make sure that everybody knows about this Mother's Day event. Mother's Day, all you can eat Southern Swank. It's on Mother's Day at 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. Tickets are $50. They got you fully taken care of. Live performance by Just Vince. It'll be at the Above and Beyond Planning and Event Center. That's at 18 Triangle Park Drive out in Sharonville, Ohio. Hit the link in today's description. It'll take you to an event page where you can read more about the details of the event and what's on the menu. I think you're going to like it. Do something special for the mother in your life while she's here. Because life is not promised. Tomorrow is not promised at all. Also, our friends over at Renew Community Church, they do a Sunday morning live stream, as some of you know. You can tap in on Facebook. You can also tap in on YouTube. Matter of fact, I got a video for you. Check this out, and I'll be back on the other side.
The words for today are better mental health. It takes 60 seconds for the universe, through the invisible law of attraction, to be fully activated in your life. God's invisible law of attraction is available to you today because you are just 60 seconds away from better mental health. Take the next 60 seconds and improve your mental health by telling a mental health story for 60 seconds 3 times a day for 21 days. Why 21 days? Because that's how long it will take to change your life. Now say this mental health story out loud 3 times a day. It is my divine and human right to embrace inner peace, calmness, and happiness today. I confess that my mind is calm and alert and sharp and focused. I focus on what I really, really want today. Today, I allow love, joy, peace in my life.
And with that, I'll leave you with our motto, family. Let's say it together. Winners focus on winning, and losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning, and we'll talk real soon. Until next time, I'm Nate Ivey. Have a great weekend, and I'm out.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand.
Back again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a I don't care. Did the for my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get on my God, I told him it's nothing. In the discussion, for them feelings I throw on my pain on percussion. It's disgusting. I hear them bragging about that they did, and it do not move me, not in the least. They ain't been dropping no seeds in the soil, but swear that you almost spotted the feast. I've been on go mode, showboat, rowboat, wave ride. Cool shorty, too naughty, pool party, wet for the face ride.